And like I said, right after Iñaki Angulo unveiled the whole thing in Brazil, this guy, G.Hofman, confirmed the news delivered by Iñaki Angulo, claiming Vinicius Jr. was threatened by El Chiringuito, by a person of El Chiringuito, through text messages and phone calls to the people that surround the player. Apparently, they received the phone calls and the text messages saying, hey, look at this. If Vinicius Jr. released a video talking about racism, and that affects us, right, to our image, we are going to destroy the guy. We are going to destroy Vinicius Jr. We are going to criticize him. We are going to blast him just because it's not true, and we don't want him to release any video. So the weird thing for me here, it is basically Vinicius Jr. is one of the most protected Real Madrid players by Florentino Perez. And considering the good relationship between Florentino Perez and Giuseppe Rerol, what is surprising to me is how is that possible? How it can happen that Florentino Perez, a very good friend with Giuseppe Rerol, but a very good protector or friend of Vinicius Jr., is right in the middle, and he really doesn't know how to handle this because he has two good friends kind of, fighting each other. What would you do in that situation? Probably for Florentino Perez is a very, very well complicated situation. And let me tell you, Florentino Perez is also deep rooted and nailed to the media communication groups in Spain. Because, you probably don't know, especially if you live overseas, but he put in one of the most important media groups in Spain, actually the group of Rodes, who controls the footage of La Liga, that company that never sent the images that harm to Real Madrid, right? The same guy, Florentino Perez, put a guy called Garcia Ferreras in the position that he is right now in La Sexta, which is a Spanish TV channel and belongs to a massive, big group and one of the most important media groups in Spain. So everything is related to each other. Everything is kind of, I don't want to say so corrupted, but in somehow it's kind of that, because it's like, man, how is these guys are related to this, and this guy is working in another industry, and this guy is working in another industry, but in somehow they are related to each other. How can this happen, man? It's kind of weird, right? It's super weird. So I don't know how the whole thing is going to end, but I don't think it's going to be very, very good for anybody. But we will have to wait a little bit more. So like I said, stay tuned in the channel because I will be talking and delivering news about this and all the latest news and breaking news that I have. Of course, I will be here delivering the whole thing, the whole details and all the stuff, okay? So now let's move on and talk about a different thing, because yesterday as well, Marco Asensio gave an interview to El Partidazo de Cope, okay? So he was interviewed by Juanma Castaño, and he was asked at some point during the interview, he was asked about the possibility to play for FC Barcelona, to sign for FC Barcelona. And this information is coming out from the information that Eduardo Inda released the other day in El Chiringuito, Monday night, when he said Barcelona is flirting with the possibility to sign Marco Asensio. And the guy not only didn't deny the information, but also he confirmed Barcelona has been there and he cannot rule out the possibility to go out, including FC Barcelona, and sign for them and play in FC Barcelona. For so many people, for so many Madridistas out there, this has been a huge thing, considering a Madridista never can be related, never can be attached to FC Barcelona by any circumstance. It is a huge thing because it's a kind of treason, right? Every time you see one of your players flirting with the possibility to play for FC Barcelona. It is not good. It is not good, right? Because if you are related in somehow the FC Barcelona, what will happen is all los Madridistas will be against you. And it really doesn't matter how Madridista you feel, how Madridista you are, how good you are performing with Real Madrid, that every single person, every single Madridista will be against you. So that wasn't very smart by the side of Marco Asensio. To me, he should have said something like, no, Barcelona is the last club, is the last team I will play in just because we are enemies. In terms of football, we're enemies, we're rivals. There's no way for me to play in FC Barcelona. There are so many other more interesting options for me. Premier League, Serie A, Serie A, or the Italian League, whatever you want to call it, France, whatever, right? Or any other team, but not FC Barcelona. If you say that, man, you are gaining a bunch of enemies within Real Madrid, right? So I don't know who is assisting to Marco Asensio every time he goes out and speaks in public, but every time he gives an interview, he's interviewed, he has a public statement or something, he is screwing it up, right? Because it's not very smart for him to say this in this moment when he is so discussed in Real Madrid, right? Because some people say, yeah, Ancelotti wants to trust him, but other people say, no, he won't him any other chance, he won't have any chance in Real Madrid, things like that. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know what is going to happen, but this was not so smart by his side. So let's see how this whole thing ends. And of course, let me finish this segment by saying some of UEFA board members are looking forward to take the Champions League games out of Europe, okay? As you can read here, some of the most powerful club executives in European football are keen to take the Champions League matches outside of Europe. That is something I talked to you about last night when I said Al Khelaifi was meditating and contemplating and thinking about the possibility to get some games out of Europe, some Champions League games out of Europe, but it was just a project, right? The Athletic, David Ornstein, who is, I think, is a journalist-in-chief or chief redactor or whatever it is in The Athletic, he is claiming that this is a real truth, this is a real idea, this is not fake at all, and UEFA board members, some of them at least, some of the UEFA board members are considering to take some of the Champions League games out of Europe. Can that happen? I don't know, man. Right now, I have been talking about that in my Spanish channel. Europe and Spain are dead men walking. Literally dead men walking, okay? They are completely dead politically, economically, and socially, right? Completely dead. So that's why a lot of businesses, big businesses in Europe and Spain are checking and contemplating the possibility, meditating actually, and considering the possibility to go out and find another places to be in to settle down their business, the core of their business, and trying to find another places and figure out how to make this business work. And it is the same root, it is the same problem than Florentino Perez every time he speaks about the European Super League. It is another way to find a solution to the loss of interest football is having these days, especially among the young people. You know what I'm saying? So they have to figure out how to make this business work and profitable again, because otherwise we're done. This is over, because every single day that goes by, less and less people are interested in soccer. And we have to keep this in mind if we really like soccer and if we really want to protect soccer. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if this is gonna happen, man, but at least there are more and more people talking about this stuff. So let's see if this happening, if this finally happened. But of course, it's gonna be way complicated to get this through, because there are a lot of interests out there, and of course some of them are, you know, becoming a conflict between each other. So I don't know, man. We will have to wait a little bit more and see if this works or not. So let's see.